Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather updates from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got breaking news out of Washington where Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Chief, has said that travelers who aren't Real ID compliant by the upcoming deadline tomorrow will still be able to fly, but should be prepared for extra scrutiny. Now, she told a congressional panel that 81% of travelers already have IDs that comply with Real ID requirements. She said security checkpoints will also be accepting passports and tribal identification when the deadline hits coming up tomorrow. Now, those who still lack an identification that complies with Real ID law, quote, may be diverted to a different line, have an extra step, end quote. Now, people will be allowed to fly, but again, they'll make it as seamless as possible, according to Kristi Noem. Now, Real ID is a federal compliant state-issued license or identification card that Homeland Security says is a more secure form of identification. It was recommended by the 9/11 Commission and signed into law in 2005, but implementation has been repeatedly delayed. Now, sticking with the concerns at our airports, we now turn to Sam Brock, who is live or was live at Newark Regional Airport in New Jersey, where there have been massive delays and again slowdowns that are affecting air travel across the country. Here's Sam Brock with more.
Newark, New Jersey continues to be the epicenter of a nationwide problem when it comes to staffing shortages. We're seeing it play out in real time again today. If you look over my shoulder, you'll see the flight information board still filled with those orange delay signs. The reality is the FAA has its ground delay program implemented again today, with the average arriving flight delayed about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Nationwide, hundreds of cancellations again. Yesterday, that figure reached about 600, more than 9,000 delays. So the ripple effects continue. That affects other hubs from Los Angeles to Dallas, Miami, Chicago. It comes at a time when the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, says they are going to be unveiling the federal government a package on rebuilding our entire air traffic control system, which includes investment in places like telecommunications and radar, and of course, bringing on more air traffic controllers. The issue with that is that it takes years to train those folks and to get them familiarized and specialized in specific airspaces. So that is not going to be a quick fix. Lastly, we are getting more information, according to multiple outlets, that there was a situation with a malfunction here last week that led to 90 seconds of no communication at all between air traffic control and the aircraft that were flying around Newark. The advice from experts right now, if you're planning on flying out of Newark, reroute if you can. Sam Brock, NBC News.
Well, thank you very much, Sam, for that report. Now we want to turn our attention to your weather forecast. We've got a few clouds that are going to be rolling over eastern North Carolina at times today. Rain showers will be possible for those of you watching along the Outer Banks and around the Albemarle Sound coming up later on this afternoon and evening. Most of eastern North Carolina will be staying dry, but there will be a few areas that have a slight chance of maybe picking up a few showers. Don't go changing your plans, though, on account of just a slim chance. Right now, here's a look at your visible satellite, what we've got going on across the country. An area of low pressure set up over really kind of the Cleveland, Ohio area is still creating headaches and just general messy weather for the Northeast, for areas pretty much from Philadelphia northward up towards New York, Boston, even upstate New York around Buffalo, even Toronto right now, feeling some of that mess. And then we also have another developing low pressure system back towards Albuquerque that has got rain showers stretched from northern New Mexico and even more eastern Arizona, extending all the way down across parts of Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and even Mississippi. But let's zoom the picture in on what we've got here in eastern North Carolina. Again, cloud cover minimal so far today. That's allowing air temperatures to climb. Right now, we've got most of our temps in the mid to upper 70s, between around 73 up to about 78 degrees. A few of us already in the 80s. Swan Quarter right now, 80 degrees, 81 in Beaufort. There is certainly some heat around, but it is coming in with lower humidity, which makes it feel even more comfortable and even more pleasant. Now, I do want to point out that we do still have relatively elevated humidity around the Albemarle Sound and the Outer Banks. That is why we are anticipating a slightly better chance of rain showers for those areas, showing that higher humidity. If you've got more moisture in the atmosphere, chances are you're going to have a better opportunity for some raindrops. And that's what we're going to be seeing coming up again later on this afternoon and evening for those of you, again, watching closer to the Albemarle Sound and the Outer Banks. Inland areas, particularly those of you watching along and west of Highway 17, you guys are looking dry. That's what happens when you've got a drop in humidity that takes dew points down anywhere between around 15 up to 20 degrees. That is a significant drop, and with that you will get drier weather. Now here's a look again at some of those possible showers. Not much is there. We will have again a few isolated showers coming down, but again, coverage is going to be fairly minimal. Early on tomorrow morning, we will start out with mostly sunny skies, and then cloud cover will slowly work its way over the east through the day. Models are trying to give us maybe a slim chance of rain late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. If we see it, it's not going to amount to much. We're looking at less than 1/4 of an inch of rain for those who do possibly receive some drops, but right now those chances are still looking fairly low. We'll have a better opportunity for more widespread rain coming in later on this week, particularly coming in on Friday. You can see again, we've got that low pressure system over New Mexico and then over the northern portion of Texas, panhandle of Oklahoma, moving into southern Kansas. That system will have a better chance of bringing more rain showers into eastern North Carolina than, say, the system that is further up to our north will have for the rest of the week. It is really that system that we're keeping an eye on, the one over Arkansas and Missouri. That's a slow mover, but it will eventually bring in some heavier raindrops to eastern North Carolina. So let's put it all in your 8-day forecast. Again, for today, not much coming down, but we could see some coastal showers for the afternoon and evening later on this afternoon. For your Wednesday, dry. We may have some early morning drops coming up on Thursday. Again, that was those light rain showers early on Thursday morning, most likely before most of us wake up. And then again, our next pretty good chance of rain, widespread rain, will arrive on Friday. The front that causes those rain showers may try to linger near the coast. That could keep a 20% chance of rain in the forecast for both Saturday as well as Sunday, which for those of you not paying attention is Mother's Day. Make sure you do something nice for the mom in your life. 75 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and relatively low humidity. Not a bad forecast for mom, but it will come with more rain expected for Monday and Tuesday after Mother's Day wraps up. Well, that's all we have time for today's noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Supreme Choice.